friends, this is Cole Adams, and I am a micro creator here in the Pacific Northwest. I do a lot of arts and crafts, painting, sewing, jelly print making, journals are usually where my creativity begins, and just overall, I try to live a super creative life. Today I'm going to talk to you about making my own creative papers for scrapbooking, collaging, things like that, word of the year, vision boarding. I like using pieces that I've created for almost everything, and I have a slight problem. I love antiquing. I love going and visiting antique stores. I love being really connected to friends and family while going antiquing. So I have a lot of stuff. And one of the things I love to do with it is go take it to the copier and make copies of it. These are all my embroidery bobbins. These are actually my class bobbins. These are the ones I use for my hand sewing class in person, and I think they're stunning as paper. And I took it to my local library in a big bag, and I just poured them all out on the glass, and then I brought a towel to put over the top of it. I think I have some B-roll of all that action, so I will show you that. These are some pieces from my family or from different things. This one I wanted to call it especially, and I think I use one copy of this in my Cabinet of Wonders video, but this is the bow that got rusted on my parents' knife that they carved their wedding cake with. And this is a copy of that bow. I also love copying of measurement pieces. And so I have a lot of textures of measurement. This is a sewn piece I made of my word for the year one year, which was wholehearted. And I love a copy of another piece of art I made. Here's another, this is a collage I created. And I didn't just make it a copy of it, I also made it a little smaller. Here's another measuring tool. Some of you have seen the tree journal I've made, and this is a copy of a page of that journal. Samples of like mixing paints, paint colors, all my bobbins lined up in a rainbow format. You don't have to always do color. This is black and white brushes, kind of fun. I think this page is pretty awesome. All measuring tools, so amazing. The cover of not the book I'm working in today, but one that's very similar. So a copy of a cover of a journal seems kind of like a weird copy to make, but when you use it as like page material, I think it's really useful. Buttons and bottle caps and game pieces. This is my hand-painted drum that I made a few years ago, and I brought the drum to the copying machine and made copies of it. It's really quite funny to do. You have to be brave and just go for it. But I wanted to do some work with these today and show you kind of how I use them in my journals. And I hope you'll come along with me and enjoy some silly content. Go out, go forth, and make silly copies. Bring piles of stuff to the copy machine. And it's very funny to line up really long measuring tools like yardsticks onto a copier bed to make copies with. if I can do it, you can do it. Okay. I'm always looking for interesting ways to store my art supplies. And this Stratego game, this is funny, I just noticed this. This was from a junk store. It was $1 whole. And the game pieces probably went into my game pieces vault or the like. And then I kept the box because I find this box holds like close to 11 by 17 papers, which is what I tend to copy at. So when I'm going to look for my hand copy sheets, I put them all in this box because then I know exactly where they are, which is so useful. And I can then just know that this is the most space I have for this type of journal supply. So once this is full, I either have to use it or edit it. I also have a smaller scrap box that I made beautiful because I love to make things pretty. And I put a little, I think it was for an old set of headphones or something. Definitely keep these boxes that have the nice closures. I find I use them all the time in my journal supply stuff. And this is like my little tiny scrap bin of things that when I'm working in my art journal, maybe out and about especially, this is all I bring of little pieces of stuff. And if friends give me things while I'm out and about, they usually go in here if they fit. Like this Officially Lost was from somebody at art camp. And it goes in my scrap bin because that's where I'm gonna think to pull it from. That's a little bit of washi tape that no longer is very sticky, so it needs to be glued on if I use it. But I love using storage devices that then limit me with how much I can store. This is my last way of storing ephemera. This is usually for stuff that's a little bit more precious. This is a manila folder piece, and I use some fabric on the edges, and then this is all just stenciled, ink stenciled with a brush to create some contrasts. Here's some, there's me and Darcy, and some fun photos. I have a lot of little folders, a whole bunch of mushroom stickers. Yeah, I think this is mostly like stickers and words I've pulled out that are very like little happy words, probably from, these all look, I think I know where this is from. This is a paint sample piece that I cut up all the words from. So they're kind of nice because they all have like happy and joyful things, some copies of some other pieces of art, more stickers, lots of words that I've stamped or used my, and lots of little pieces. That's the other thing that I stored in here, but like little folders, kind of more these are all things I've typed up from my typewriter. Some antique pieces, an antique postcard, some tickets, some fun deli paper, some just paper, more stickers, more stickers. I think this is like a little, yeah, this is all stickers that are related to Spirited Away. And then finally some like hand stamped and different things. So I really love to create little vignettes to hold some of my pieces. So this doesn't necessarily go in the same, like this might live always in my journal book bag that I take with me. This might live in the studio. The big box definitely lives in the studio, but that's how I organize all my little bits and bobs. And once those places are full, I try not to fill up more. I do have one more bin that gets some stuff in it, but let's cut off a little bit of these measuring tapes. This is another piece. This is a copy of my word of the year. Yeah, this is a copy of my word of the year journal. Here's the trees journal. I'm just gonna take a chunk of this from over here. And then let's take a chunk of this, maybe a little bit bigger chunk. Yeah. I love when you cut it up. It looks so different than when it's paint samples. Okay. This is probably going to need to be trimmed down a little bit. I'm going to talk to you about making borders. This is a Tisha Moore trick to make borders around your collage papers. I don't tend to collage from magazines like she does. I tend to kind of work, I like to leave the center of the piece open for other work I'm inspired by. So, but I do like to start with a little bit of a border sometimes around my pieces. So that's where we're going today. So this is a little manila folder book, and I used collage papers to glue in. I think I actually did one similar to this for YouTube as the beginning of the adventure journal. This is very close to that. This is only a few pieces of paper, but I love these wild borders. And I created this border to kind of go with this edge, and I want to do that around the rest of the sheets of paper. So I'm going to start here, and I think instead of glue, I'm going to use this permanent adhesive Tombow piece and see how that works. And going down, you're not supposed to do it on that. I know. I can hear y'all screaming. Okay, I'm gonna use my mat of nasty right now. I really need to clean this mat, but hasn't happened yet. Not sure it will. Should I go with the letters up? Maybe numbers up. Let's try it. I'm going to start in that corner. I got a little off, so I'm just going to tear it and go to a different sheet because I don't want to see these numbers on the same sheet, but I don't mind seeing them in another part of the book. So I'm just going to put that part there because that's enough numbers for me on this piece. Should we go with, yeah, let's do this piece next. This paint sample piece. I'm going to slide that under the number torn edge because I think that will look so much cooler. There we go. Should I do this next? I definitely like tearing edges as part of this. I don't necessarily always like cut edges. Maybe I'll cut. This one is a little bit wider. So why don't I use this in this corner? Okay. So I ripped that piece and I'm gonna use this one. That's pretty funny. And this one's a little bit wider, so I'm gonna do 2 strips and go right over that edge because that edge is white. This edge isn't. This is kind of interesting because this is bordered. So it's kind of like a double border. I also cut these little bits out, and I think I'm gonna add a little round bit to this piece because I don't like how these two come together. So let's add a little something there. Okay. Got a new chair in my studio, and it's kind of making my feet numb. So I have to figure out how to either put a step stool in for myself or what, but this is not gonna work for the studio if I can't feel my feet after a few minutes, especially leaning forward. I remembered I had this washi tape. So I'm going to put some washi tape in with this collage texture. And because this washi tape is pretty old, it's a tiny bit sticky, but not trustworthy. So I just added some more stickum to the back. Yep, I like that. Okay, let's go back into this sheet because I got some of this texture, but like all over here is totally game too. Why don't I want to keep that quote whole, but I'm going to gather some of this texture and maybe cut it right here. So the dude is good. And I think I could cut it here too and gather like 2 more bands of texture for our border pile. Oh yeah, those are both nice. Grab this piece too, because I think all of this kind of papery bag texture and different, all of that kind of lives, they could be friends, but they're not necessarily, like you wouldn't know those are all from the exact same piece of collage material. So that was one piece of collage material. Most of the material's still there. Like the quote is still there, the little guy is still there. So most of that is whole, but I've cut all these borders off to put into a different place. So you'll never even know that was texture I created before. That's what I love about it. I think, let's put this as kind of the center. I love that stamping texture. Can I pull this up a little bit? Let's make that work. This is like some scrapbook texture. Maybe I'll just do this big chunk in the corner. That would look kind of cool. Okay. Sure enough. We're having a movie day downstairs. The kids are having fun while I'm in the studio, which is great. So this is the fold over from this piece. That is not going to stick. I like it when you can immediately tell. It's like, oh, I didn't get enough stick on there. I'm going to go down here with this piece. Let me fix this one. So now I've got kind of a start on this page, but mainly I've got this piece fully bordered. Now I have a nice place to work in the middle. This can go like that. This border is done too. These are corks. That's always a fun texture. Some deli paper, another measuring tape. I think I need to put something really funky and cool there, but maybe leave that space. I might, what if I do, let's put a little bit of this up here. Because this is so ubiquitous, this gray. I think I could put some of it up here. I'm gonna leave that one little corner not done, maybe? Maybe I will. We'll see. I'm gonna flip this over so that little bit of pink is up. I don't like that. I always think I'm gonna like doing texture like that. I never do. Just have to be better. Okay, add a little bit there. And then let's add a little bit here. And I try to work really quickly without a lot of like stopping so that I can kind of just get it done, but also be excited about it. Show up and be glorious. Ooh, that's perfect. Yes, baby. Okay. That was my friend Myrna's quote. Show up and be glorious. I said I wanted something really beautiful and like stunning in this corner. Voila. I love that. Okay, so this one's done. Okay, I did some creativity in front of the television. This is a sticker I found at an antique store somewhere. Another sticker added. This was the border I had done. And here's the border we did together. And I just kept going. So here's another border. And another one. One more. I didn't put a piece there. I might need to. We'll see. And there's another. And then there's the final one. So that's the little book all ready to go, ready to create in. I need to put a either elastic or a piece of ribbon to do a closure. But I'm very excited to get started in this journal. Cheers. And I kind of like to get them a little bit thought out and then come up with a theme for them. But for now, that's where we're at. And I hope you enjoyed thinking about your art supplies and your former pieces of work and just your stuff around your house. I will leave you with this beautiful picture of me as a baby. Yes, I had a huge birthmark on my head, and yes, I have always had chubby cheeks. So if you like us, especially her, like and subscribe, and I hope that you have enjoyed this content. Cheers.